Anyway, I'm Moon. Who the fuck are you?
Sorry, what did you say?
I am Moon. Who the fuck are you?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm Brutus,
Uh,
5000.
Brutus 5000. And what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, I'm one of the two DevOps counselors in the nice FA Forever community.
Uh,
And my job is to keep shit running so you can have a great time in FAF, basically.
basically.
Yeah, that comes along with a lot of subtasks that I don't know how deep do you want to dive in,
I
but
mean, we'll see where the conversation goes.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I try to. It's not unknown that I basically know nothing about development, yet I'm still kind of tasked with trying to figure out what the fuck it is you guys do.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
so I kind of have a rough idea of what everyone does. Like, some
Mm.
people do client side stuff, some people do server side stuff, and you seem to do everything
Uh,
except web. I think web development is the one thing you've said you don't do.
yeah, because I really suck at it. Maybe I suck at the other stuff too, but that's not that obvious. But no, but I think the main or the most important part is that I'm one of the few exclusive people who have actually access to our servers. So um, if we want to release something, if we need to do maintenance, or if we run into problems like last week where the hard disk was full, we need to log on to the server, check what's going on, get the services up and running, maybe restart it, deploy a new version. That's already a huge task for that many players we have. I mean, we're right now we already have 4 people with access to the server. It used to be less in the past, so I'm actually glad that we have more now. And yeah, there's a
That's
lot of moderation stuff also going on that cannot be done from the moderators themselves, like all these Steam linking issues we have right now. That takes a lot of time.
yeah. So the people with the access would be you, Downlord, Shio, and
Yeah,
Ice.
we have Rackover or Lufgard or whatever she's called in FAF in game. I don't know.
That's one of those things where it's like after a certain point, you are the name that has been assigned to you, and we all call her Rack.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people changing the names, it's like they mostly do it to annoy people like me, right?
Oh,
I don't like change.
I mean, I change my name every couple of months or so on FAF, but
Yeah.
even then, everyone still calls me Moon, and that is the name. Despite the fact that I chose it, it's still the name that has been assigned to me. I know people who have actually tried to legitimately go through like renames to become something else, and it just doesn't fucking work. Like,
Usually it doesn't, right?
no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But what's your motivation behind changing your name in game?
I don't know, shits and giggles. Usually the favorite character in a TV show that month.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
I mean, my name is fucking Finland at the moment, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was about the server stuff. Um, as you said, I'm trying to deal a lot in this software architecture thingy. Um, I don't know if you ever looked into this YouTube tutorial I posted. So where I went over the basics and explained what kind of services we have. So,
I think I tried watching it a very long time ago.
but you fell asleep, I guess.
I don't think I fell asleep. I think I just went, oh shit, there's something else in the what's next feed that looks much more interesting and much more relevant to what I'm doing now.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
can relate.
Um,
No. Um, yeah, if you think about a FAF, there's actually a lot more stuff happening in the background than that people can see on the first glimpse. So we have the website, we have 2 clients, which one of them we're trying to retire. We have the lobby server, of course, which is where you log in. We have an API where you can gather some data, like how many people did register in last week, or which replays do I have, or what maps and mods are currently available, or stuff like that. And this like kind of stuff you see directly, but there's the background, like there's still some legacy services used for some very specific tasks in the Python client, which is also one of the reasons why we want to get rid of the Python client, because it takes a lot of effort to keep this stuff running. We have a replay server, we have an IRC server, which is a pain in the ass to maintain, and we have QAI. This I need to check. Probably forgot half of the list. I think
did we mention
server,
where all the maps and mods are actually stored, or?
Yeah, so all maps and mods are stored on the server's hard disk, and we have a relational database where you like put in the references. So if you upload a mod or a map, we the server or the API checks through the files and checks for a particular file. I think it's called mod info lua or map info lua, and then extracts the description and the author and whatever it finds there, puts this stuff into the database so that you can actually search for it later on. And if you then try to play this map, your client will download it from our server.
But more often than not, just fucking crash.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that happens a lot, but that's usually because one of us will have a version of the mod that we didn't get from the client, and I think something shits itself. Pretty sure that happened once.
I think it happens especially on watching replays, right?
Yeah.
And this is still part of our, let's say, legacy heritage, the way we store replay information is sometimes not complete. So this especially affects featured mods other than FAF. For example, if you play Phantom X and then we roll out a new FA game version, this information is not in the replay file, and then I guess all other replays probably break for Phantom X on that version. And it's always hard to make changes to this, to improve stuff, because in the current situation we have these 2 clients, and one of them is mainly unmaintained for over 2 years, so no real development took place. And if we say, okay, we change this now, and then we ask people, can you adapt the clients, and from one side you get a yes, and from the other side you get nothing, then you have a problem, because half of the player base or even more is running on the Python client, and we can't ship them updates because there's nobody doing anything on it. And this is one of the reasons why we said, okay, we need to draw a line and say, retire the Python client. We know people, or many people, don't like the Java client, but we see no choice in to get FAF moving forward without doing this step.
Yeah, the delay actually really surprised me in how long it's actually taken to come to that decision. And this is coming from someone that actually does not like the Java client.
I mean, this is an open source project. Everybody can contribute, and we were always hoping that if we like give subtle hints and tell people that we have issues, that somebody comes along and starts fixing this. It didn't happen for a long time, and at some point even the original maintainers said, okay, throw it away. There won't be any magic happening that repairs all this. And I guess it's like, yeah, one of the counselor's job to take the blame, make the decision, make everybody unhappy for a while, and hopefully in the end they will see that it will benefit them. It's not, I mean, we can't make everybody happy, right? But we can try.
Or you could just ignore 20% of the people.
I mean, it's always easy to complain, but it's more difficult to actually bring benefit to the project. And it's not like there are not enough suggestions to implement. It's just we're lacking the people to do it.
So you cut out for a second there. You said not enough suggested implements? No.
No, I mean, we have suggestions all over the place.
Yeah.
People with good ideas. Thousands of them. I mean, we have, according to our database, we have 180,000 users. Of course, not all of them are active, but let's say 10% of them are active. We still have a huge player base, and everybody has an opinion. What could be better? What could be different? And even if we filter out the good suggestions, there are still way too many to implement them all. So in the end, we need to make priorities. And to me, the main priority is, not to fuck up. Like, let people play and let's try to improve the gameplay experience. And the number one project to achieve this is this ice adapter thingy that you've probably heard of.
No, I've never heard of it. Totally never watched your video on it either.
Yeah, okay, but maybe I explain to all the people listening what it is.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was an entire blog post about explaining what ice is, and I tried looking up the link for it like 5 minutes before I started this.
Yeah,
but no.
I'm no expert in it. I'm happy that, let's say, other people deal with it, but it's sort of a standardized way of like opening your port to the server and have access to other people. Like that's all the stuff that modern firewalls and routers block for security reasons, and ICE is sort of the connector that tries to bring people together. Don't ask me how it works. Don't ask me what the problems are. This is way beyond me. But yeah,
I wouldn't say it's beyond you. Just a completely different field.
Yeah, and we were waiting for this like for 2 years, and as I said, we're an open source project. Everybody can contribute, but also the problem is everybody can stop it whenever he likes to, and or also if he sees that he can't do it. And with the ICE adapter, I think we had 3 or 4 different implementations by different people.
I remember 2.
Yeah, there was one in JavaScript, I think. There was one in C++. There was one there is one in Java now, and I think there was one more, but I don't remember. Yeah, but you see, it has quite a history, this topic, and we made tests and everything with the current Java solution. I'm not really sure what is right now stopping to bring this to production.
Yeah,
We need to check this as soon as some people get out of their current phase of I mean, we have a lot of students in our team, and when they have to write papers or exams, they like go out of business for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and then things move forward again.
That's right, because you're all in the Northern Hemisphere as well. Because down here, schools, at least the university, probably didn't start until just about now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of those... I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent because of this, because it really fascinates me. the Northern Hemisphere has basically all the civilization and had so for the longest time, yet they still made it so that the school year did not line up with the actual year because of seasons.
Yeah, and also because we want to have holidays over summer, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that weirds me out about it is because it works out here that summer is during Christmas.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't start school until February, late January. And then you have summer break basically all of December. But up north, you've done it halfway around, the other way around because you put summer right in the middle of your year. But yeah, anyway, that's enough tangent. Where were you going? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about ice, right?
Ah,
And
yes.
so while we were waiting for ice and people told us it will be ready in a few months, we started
Soon.
building other stuff on top of it. And on top of this stuff, we built more stuff, which maybe wasn't the best idea in retrospective, but that's what happened right now. So we have a new implementation of the FAF lobby server written in Java, which claims to have less bugs and more features. I mean, it's not proven yet, but
Well, isn't it usually that when you add more features, you also add more bugs?
mm, yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's yeah. How would I say this? I mean, there are a lot of discussions on the topic, but if you start to develop software from scratch and you have a lot of experience in software development, you can build a solid architecture and utilize a lot of technologies that are out there in the wild as open source projects. There are a lot of great open source projects that we make use of. And if I look at the current implementation of the lobby server, um, basically it was started by a developer who was no, let's say, architectural expert. Um, I mean, Zeb has all my respects for all the stuff he's done, because without him we wouldn't have FAF, and he did amazing work. But the quality of his software is not the best. And there was a lot of refactoring in this Python server, but it didn't reach the point, from my opinion and also Download's opinion, where we say, oh, that's great, let's keep on doing this. And it's also, of course, a language question where we say there are advantages from Java in comparison to Python. And I mean, there's a lot of, let's say, we could start endless religious discussions on this. I don't want to do this right now.
Oh, damn.
Also, don't want to do it later. But we said we're more confident with Java for a certain set of reasons. And that's why Download started doing this Java server implementation. And it right now it is blocked by ICE. So once ICE is ready, we could start testing the Java server, see if it actually fulfills all the promises that are made. And if this Java server ever goes live, then we can go to the next stage and bring Galactic War servers online. This is something I built on top of the Java server.
This is turning out to be a very tall cake.
Yes, exactly.
Dare I ask what's on top of Galactic War?
Oh, nothing. I mean, the way or the progress on Galactic War right now is it's a very basic implementation of what it used to be. But I think people would be happy even with the most basic implementation, because it's better than what they have right now, which is nothing.
So no, it's a pretty good nothing.
Yeah.
we have ladder that works 50% of the time in Astro Crater. I don't think you can top that, mate.
No, I was especially thinking about you have no GW right now. And actually, I never played it in the past. That's for
Yeah.
shame, because every time when I tried to play it, it was broken. So I don't know the mechanics behind it very well. I read a lot of stuff on the forums and in the wiki and stuff, and thought about what could I take from this and make it a little bit more simple so we can start easy. And should we ever get this working, then we can build mod stuff into it. But if you're looking at the forums, of course, people start with suggestions. Can we do this? Can we do this? It would be much better if we did this. And I said, yeah, maybe. But we're so far away from playing this game, so let's start with a real simple.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot where even if it isn't just suggestions, it's, I mean, you think about a new game coming out, and the best example I can think of this was Fallout 76 in recent memory. It was when it was announced, I knew a lot of people that were thinking, oh, we could do this and this and this and this and this, and then you get what you had. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you start with a commercial game today, people, of course, have a different expectation than when we start something from an open source community. And I mean, if I pay $50 or whatever for a game, I expect a lot of features, right?
Yeah, $50. Yeah, bro, that's like $100 here. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Shit, what was I thinking about? I can't remember. We went on too many tangents. No, where was I going? Oh yeah, the whole Galactic War. I actually wasn't around for it. That actually was before my time. But this wasn't the first time someone tried to rebuild it, is it?
I don't know. I haven't seen any code.
I've
Maybe somebody did it in his own office or something, but never released it.
I'm just remembering old screenshots. I don't know if that was actually from the original Galactic War or if that was a attempt to remake it. I think we're going back to like 2016, 2015.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're looking or remembering the forum thread that we started when we started doing this, which was in 2016, I guess.
Yeah, it might be. All I remember is I had planned for a April Fool's post where Nomads was added to Galactic War, and I put a bunch of, I took it because there was the picture of the galactic map with, you know, segments color coded for each faction, and I added a bunch of orange ones in.
Yeah, people asked me about this as well, and I said no, because I mean, there are a lot of people who like Nomads, and there are also people who think FAF is the best game the way it is. Don't change it. And as always, you can't make everybody happy.
I don't think I know. I think I know maybe 2 people that think Nomad's the best thing ever, and both of their opinions are fucking wrong.
I haven't played it so far.
I don't know. Do you want me to give you the rundown on Nomads from my point of view? It's basically an over-glorified Black Ops.
Oh, and I mean, even Black Ops was complicated.
Well, not complicated, just glorified. Like, the issue with Nomads is it's from the ground up very. It's balanced like a 5-year-old, and I don't mean that necessarily as an insult, but like, do you remember playing on the playground and you'd be playing pretend with your friends, and you know, I cast fireball, and your friend who's an absolute fucking cunt would be, oh, I have the fireball shield. And okay, I cast lightning bolt, and say, oh, I have the lightning shield as well. And yeah, there's always that retarded fucking counter. And I feel that Nomads was balanced a lot this way. Like, they have this tank destroyer that's got a longer range than a fucking Aurora, or they've got a cheap experimental that's cheaper than a Monkey Lord. So it's
Okay.
they've kind of gone, I've got this, but it's does this part better, and it kind of removes anything special about any of the other factions.
Yeah, I mean, I think for an expert in FA gaming, where you know all of your 4 factions by heart and you know what every unit does, it might be exciting to have something new to play with. But there are a lot of people like me with rating way below 1000 who don't even know the 3 other factions other than UEF.
Oh, you can't.
Especially in, yeah, I mean, of course I know what the units do, but I don't know how to best counter them and stuff. And if you then throw them on top another faction and say, okay, play with this one, screw you, I don't think they will like it. But that's just my opinion.
Maybe. I think
I
they've.
mean,
I think they've got. No, never mind.
Forge Alliance, is a very complex and complicated game, and if I look into the play tab and see there are like 10 Gap of Rohan games open, I always think, okay, people don't want to handle this complexity, so they take a map that reduces like 80% of the gameplay. But maybe there are other reasons to do this. I'm not sure.
It is a. Although I actually don't see any gap for Rohan. I see like 3 dual gaps. Shitload of ISIS
Yeah,
though.
okay. Today it's dual gap, but when I started in FAF, and I think when did dual gap became popular? I think it was like around 2 years ago, something.
There was the singularity that happened where everyone suddenly got CPUs good enough to handle it.
Yeah, I mean when I started, there were like two types of custom games. It was either Gap of Roham or Sentence. Yeah, and the Sentence one was for people with a good CPU.
Well, this actually brings us to one of the questions I was actually kind of wondering is, how did you start in FA? Were you one of the Total Annihilation vets, or?
Oh no, I saw the game. I had a friend in, when was this? 2008 or something, and I played it a little bit, but I played campaign, and the campaign sucks, right? And
Was it
then I didn't buy it because it wasn't that amazing, the campaign. And
was this Forged Alliance or just the
it's a good. No, I think it was still the regular Supreme Commander. Yeah, I mean the first mission in Forged Alliance is so cool that gives a totally different impression, right?
Yeah.
I think it was basic game. Yeah, and at some point in Germany we have some retail stores that offer games for $10 each, or they used to do. And then I saw it and I said, "Oh, that's nice. Just play it." And then I played against the computer, which was cool. And at some point, I don't know when or why, I found Forge Alliance Forever, and I said, "Cool, let's subscribe to this."
And then
That
you.
must have.
Oh.
I think that was in 2012. But let me
So
check.
you've basically been here since the start of FA Forever.
Yeah, but I wasn't playing that much. I mean, it took a lot of time to play, and I didn't get much better. Let me check. When did I join?
Oh, there you are. Oh god, you are sub 1000 rating
Yeah, I know.
with only
Really bad.
200 games on
Oh,
global.
create time is October 2013. Okay.
October
Oh,
2013, did you say?
you only see the amount of rated games, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. So
otherwise I might have 1,000 sandboxes as well.
yeah, yeah, but I don't know why, but most of the games back in the days were unranked for whatever reasons. People didn't want them to be ranked intentionally, but I think that's still the case today for some reason. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, you gotta. It's one of those things about the rating and this whole push for a new rating system. And one of the big complaints that was Shio used to say, the maths for this new version is perfect, and that's great, except that the maths doesn't take into account the human element of it, which is people aren't seeing this as a gauge of their skill. This is a point to be hoarded. But
Yeah, I'm no expert in this true skill stuff, so I gotta believe that it works. I'm not really sure. But I mean, when I used to play ladder,
oh, you played
in
versus Coca in June last year.
yeah, yeah, I had a short phase where I said I watched so many Galcasts, I'm gonna use this knowledge to my advantage, and it actually worked in 3 games.
Oh, you lost to Flood and Toaster Bang Bang. I've heard of him before, and I've heard of Uzma, but
I mean, when I started in FAF, ladder gaming was like, oh, I'm rated, I don't know, 600, and I was always facing somebody rated 900 or 1000, and they just crashed me, and there was no chance of winning, and kind of lost the interest in ladder at that point.
yeah, it's
I
about.
think it's better today because we have a bigger player base.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. This is just
uh,
let's say I'm being optimistic here.
that might just be my time zone because you come on at 3 in the afternoon here and Europe's fucking dead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, we thought about why don't we show people how many players are in the pool and which players? And then people said, yeah, but if you know how many are in the pool and if they are too few, they're not gonna play ladder. But if you look at right now, you click on play ladder and nothing happens. Where's the difference? I don't know.
yeah, it's a weird one. I think this goes back to the whole like fucking human element of things. Is telling people how many in there is kind of a self-propelling thing. If it's diving into the ground, it's going to propel itself further into the ground. If it's going up, it's going to propel itself up.
Yeah, I mean, we need to motivate people to play ladder if we really wanna, get it running. But right now, we don't have any tools to motivate them.
And it's a very difficult question. I mean, I don't know how to fix it. My answer is usually just let things be what they are. Also, do you have a brother that plays?
No, I have a cousin that plays.
Ah, yeah, I'm looking at this 0 rated in your replay vault called in the family only games.
Yeah, yeah. Played with my cousin against AI in LAN.
Yeah. I see pretty quickly he realised he wants to play UEF as well. I'm sure that has nothing to do with your influence.
Um, no, I don't think so. But it's like the primary choice. If you have no clue and want to turtle in, you need Ravagers, right?
No, I don't play UEF. So we talked about that. don't know if there was anything else I wanted to talk about on the main points. Just, I don't know, we might call it there if you've got... No, do you have anything you want to say?
Well, if you want to join us in FA Forever, we welcome everyone.
I don't... Sorry, I'm just thinking... It's one of those things, like, I don't think anyone who's not in FAF is going to watch this.
I'm trying to be optimistic here. No, but
yes,
also
my 7 subscribers, 4 of which don't play FAF Forever, they're going to be inspired.
I know. But you can also join us on development. If you want to do this, we have a GitHub project called FA Forever. Check it out. If you're interested, contact one of the moderators, ask for Slack access, or ask Moon, he can tell us as well.
Yeah.
And we always need we're also looking for moderators, but we're especially looking for developers, web developers, backend developers.
Oh,
Lua developers.
That was the thing. Sorry, the thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was, we talked about this earlier with the fact that you don't do web development, but I think it's one of those really big misconceptions that I see a lot is people say, oh, you have all these developers, why is this thing not done yet? I don't think people understand how varied your skills all are.
Yes. I mean, even if you do front end or let's say web development, there are 2 completely different types of developers. And I know this from work. I say there are people who are coding stuff where they fetch data, where they process data, and where they show them somehow. And then there are people who know how the human brain works, how to do a proper user interface, how user experience is working.
Oh, we need those guys. If any of you do that, yes, please come join the FA Forever dev group.
Yes. And this is something that, of course, you can learn, but this is not something that you do when you have the time. This requires knowledge, and I don't have it. It also requires talent, which I also don't have. I'm really bad at doing any kind of user interface stuff. So that's why I hide in the back end and do my stuff there and wait for other people to do the magic stuff.
I have this galactic war and I have no way to use it because I forgot to put the buttons in.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you would look at job descriptions in the development part of Forge Alliance Forever, then you have you have game developers, people who develop the game scripts in Lua. We have also people reverse engineering the Forge Alliance exe to add some cool features. And then we have people developing the client. We have people developing our backends. We have no people developing the web, but we need them. So there are so many tasks to do. And if you're whatever kind of developer you are, we probably need you.
Yeah. And looking through the entire Slack channels, at least the public ones, are there any new ones? Oh, there are no new ones. Everyone stopped making new channels. Yeah. Music, maps, modeling. Modeling never gets used. The Nomads definitely never gets used now that everything's moved to Discord.
Can you give me a second? I just interrupted.
You have exactly 3. 1, 2.
Okay.
3.
I'm back.
Oh, good. You used exactly 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I need to tell, or I should tell, so nobody gets surprised. I will become a father in mid of April, and my lack of time will significantly drop at this point.
Oh, fucking congratulations, dude. Do you know what it's gonna be?
Yes, it's gonna be a boy.
Oh, nice. Have you got a name?
Yes, he will be called Felix. Why are you laughing?
Just remembering everybody I know with the name Felix.
Okay, I don't know anybody with this name at
Uh,
all, but it's like one of the top 10 common names in Germany for kids nowadays. I don't know where they all hide, but
people name their kids some fucking dumb shit though.
yeah. Top one in Germany is Ben.
Oh, we know a Ben. Sure, he'll love being pointed out that his name is Ben right now. But Felix, I mean, top 10. Was there anybody in the Bible named Felix? I don't think there was.
No, I don't think so.
Because it's usually, at least in the European countries, it is very biblical. You know, your Johns, your Matthews, your Lukes. I'm fucking none of those.
Yeah, but at least in Germany, those you named aren't very common. I mean, Luke is common because of Star Wars, but that's it. Wasn't used before.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so that was my initial goal, was to finish Galactic War until then, and I have miserably failed. But I will try to keep working on it when I find the time.
Yeah.
And the rest we'll see when it happens.
Are you gonna?
If I notice that the time is not enough, then I will probably step down from my position and make room for somebody else who has more time.
That sounds like a wonderful fucking shit show. I can see forum threads already. I mean, who would who would you say are the top candidates for that? If you want to, I don't know, start shit, if any of them actually watch this. Like, Brutus, how dare you not mention me, this one developer that did that one thing one time?
Yeah. I wouldn't even know who wants this job, because it's a blame job, more or less. You make decisions, and they're always sort of unpopular. And unless if you're just a free developer, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I can't force people to do something, even if I wanted to, which would be helpful sometimes. And also we have a lot of ninja developers that show up, solve one difficult task, and then hide again. They are very cool, but again, you can't give them a position like this. So I can't throw you a name.
Shame. Yeah, I think that might be it then. We'll stop it there.
Yeah, then.
Yeah. See you, everyone.
Keep going. I'll be interested in other interviews.